books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. Call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas, this is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, March 20th. We're ready for another big day of NCAA tournament action today with the second round of first round games, if you will, on Friday. We've got 16 games we're going to look at here today. That should be awesome. Our 16 games yesterday, pretty exciting. Had some upsets, had some blowouts, had some close calls, had some last second heroics, and we'll hope it continues today with the tournament here. We'll go over all 16 games. We'll also preview NBA action here tonight. We'll look at the 6 games on tap, and we'll look at 3 games on the NHL card. We're going to kick 2 of them out here today with our extended show. We're getting ready right to tip off here today with our first games of the day. Should be able to get into those. Santa Clara and Kentucky, Akron and Texas Tech, but want to recap and talk about yesterday's games and how you folks did here on the Morning Steam. We definitely pulled through with some winners here yesterday on the show. Hope you guys did too. Want to say hello to everyone in the chat and get ready for our show. You can participate in the chat by just typing in your name, your picks, your comments, and you could be eligible for drawing at the end of the show, where I'm going to award 1 month of my picks here on the Morning Steam Show. I send out some picks every day as part of my package here, doing my show on the Sports Money Network with the guys. I'm really happy to do it. And also, you can get more picks from me over at winnable.com/Ramon. We're able to come through, I thought, with some great winners yesterday. You get all my college picks here. Some people said, where are the picks? Where are the college picks? Yeah, they're right here. No need to go any further there. But also, you get plenty of picks from me in other sports, really, is what it is. You get college baseball, tennis, NBA, NHL, college basketball too, but additional picks from me in a timely fashion over there at winnable.com/Ramon, and use the promo code STEAM at checkout. That'll save you 20%, and this is how you support me here on the channel with the guys. This is how I do my show here. So really want to thank everybody for joining me here. Just kind of getting organized here and ready to go off of the action here last night. We got a little bit of a post game here with some of the action here yesterday in the tournament. Let's go through some of the results, but let me say hello to the folks here. Maybe that'd be easier for me right now. I'm just trying to set up my tabs here for some reason. All right, Twisted's ready to go. Says got some live upsets here today. Miami O, Queens, and Cal Bap there. Also taking some favorites here. Texas Tech, Utah State, St. John's, UCLA, Cal Baptist plus the points there. Queens, Miami O. Thank you to Twisted for starting us off there in the chat. And how about some of those games yesterday? TCU, BCU, a lot of CUs going on. We mentioned, right, that BCU loves to play those ACC teams, don't they? And that's kind of what paid off yesterday in some of the games. Let's take a look at some of them here and see how we did on the show anyway. I know we had some winners here on the show. We didn't have Nebraska clubbing Troy 76-46, picking up their first ever NCAA tournament win. The Huskers rocked Troy early and often there in that one. I was on Troy there, but I had some winners for sure on the card here yesterday on the morning steam with you guys. Also, some of the other results there yesterday with TCU and Ohio State. Yeah, we had the under there in that one for sure. 66-64. Xavier Edmonds hit that jumper with 4 seconds left, getting that win for TCU. TCU that came all the way back there to beat Ohio State. Or no, I shouldn't say all the way back. TCU led throughout. Ohio State was the one that made the big comeback there. We had the under as our winner here on the morning steam. Louisville over South Florida, 83-79 point spread. Hijinks there a little bit. How did you do in the game? There we had South Florida there. Look, I think we got there honestly. I mean, on the show we were dealing 4.5 there. The game landed 4. I know it did go to 3.5. Some people on South Florida late may have not won, and some people on Louisville late may have gotten the money. It landed 3.5 there at the finish, and the final was 4. Cardinals withstood a 52-point second half there in that game. So that was really a close one there as far as the number was concerned. Also, how about High Point with their big upset over Wisconsin? Man, High Point looked bigger, stronger, faster. It was a song one time, I think, there. They hit 15 3-pointers, and the game did go over for us here on the Morning Steve Show, 83-82 as it climbed over there. But High Point gets that big win, and man, they look good compared to Wisconsin anyway. They looked like the smaller team. They looked like the mid-major compared to High Point there yesterday, it looked like to me. How about Duke and their win over Siena? Man, Duke had to overcome a 14-point deficit there. And we might have landed right on the number in the total there, final 136. I know it did go up a little bit, but hey, I'll call it a loss or a push for me, 136. Did go up to 137.5, I believe, there yesterday. So hopefully you got there and got the win. I don't mind a little push there for me, but 14-point deficit, Siena. I know one thing, McNamara went from the coach of Siena probably to the coach of Syracuse after that, and after the effort there by Siena. Looks like Jerry McNamara headed to Syracuse. We'll see, but you got to think they got to do that, don't they? Cam Boozer, 22 points. His brother had, I think, 19. Siena, they would have won the game if they didn't shoot 23% in the game. Duke did not look great, obviously. Siena did a nice job defensively, but come on. If you're Duke there, not the way to go. I was on Siena there in that game, but moving on here to some more finals yesterday, and how about Vanderbilt getting the win over McNeese there. But hey, we were on McNeese here on the show yesterday, plus those 11 points. It landed 10. Tyler Tanner, 26 points for Vanderbilt. I thought Vanderbilt still looked good. I think McNeese did a good job. They actually had to come back a little bit to cover the spread in that one. Michigan State over North Dakota State. I did not have this one pinned there. A blowout there for Sparty, 92-67. They shot nearly 60% in the game, so North Dakota State couldn't phase those guys in that one. That one I know I did not get right. But hey, how about Arkansas in their win over Hawaii? Yeah, we had Arkansas laying the points there yesterday. They won it by 19. Darius Cup Jr., 24 points there in that one for the Hogs. Move on. Remember, I'm rolling with the Hogs here a little bit. We'll see how that goes. The big one here everybody's talking about today with North Carolina and VCU. Congratulations to VCU, huh? Rallied from a 19-point deficit. I talked about Phil Martelli Jr., no panic in his coaching and no panic in these Rams there. It felt like they played well enough that they were struggling so much there with the field goals early on. But, man, Carolina went into a shell. Said those VCU teams love beating those ACC teams up, and they got the win 82-78 in overtime. We had VCU here on the show. You know we did. Michigan rocked Howard, 101 to 80. The Wolverines shot 67%. Howard actually got the money. We got the money with Howard here on the show yesterday, taking 31 points there. Michigan, actually, Howard was in the game for quite a long time. They almost look like the Howard Globetrotters out there for a while. And they, really were hanging in there for the first part of the first half, and then Michigan pulled away. And then Howard really did a nice job to keep fighting there and get the money yesterday for the Bison. Wolverines move on, though, look pretty good. Texas Longhorns survived. A.J. Debanza. This one I did not get right. I had BYU and Debanza there. Debanza only had 35 points in the game, but no help at all. This poor guy's got to go in there like a football player trying to draw all those fouls and everything. They couldn't help him at all. No depth. Of course, BYU was missing their one of their top players. He'd been out for several weeks there, and that would kind of threw them for a loss. I still thought Debanza would be enough to cover it against Texas, but not enough help for Debanza in there, and Texas advances 79-71. Also, how about A&M over St. Mary's? I tried to hang my hat on the West Coast Conference, and I'll talk about it here in just a minute when we get started with the show with Santa Clara. But talk about Gonzaga here in a minute, but St. Mary's, a real bad effort here, just 50 points against Texas A&M. The Aggies jumped out to an early 11-point lead. I had the winner on the show with the under, no doubt about it there, but 65-50 there in that one for Texas A&M, getting that win. Good on Texas A&M, bad on me there. I was on St. Mary. We were on the show here taking the under, but I know I was talking up St. Mary's in the preview there yesterday. Apologies to anyone there in that one. Okay, also, Illinois did rock Penn here yesterday. I had the under on that one, and it was close. I mean, I think it went up to 153 or so, and I had under one. It playing in 157 there yesterday, but I was kind of on Penn. On the show we were on the under, so did lose that one, but Illinois rocked. So maybe the Illinois is waking up a little bit there. I kind of thought, like I said, McCaffrey against an Illinois team there with Webb, I thought they could figure them out and stay in there, but they were just overpowering on them. Okay, how about the St. Louis Billikens yesterday? They shot 58% to the Dogs, 38%, in the upset of Georgia, 102. That's not an upset. Come on, St. Louis should have been favored in that game there. We did cash with the over here on the Morning Steam Show. I was strong on my picks yesterday. I know you guys were as well, but I definitely was rolling here. I think I went 3-1 in every region yesterday. So we had the over there. I was on the Billikens for sure. Didn't have them on the show, but talked about them on some other shows, and had some picks on St. Louis out there. And I think Avila is a very, very good college basketball player, big difference maker in there. But they showed if there are other guys too, some great performances there. Gonzaga over Kennesaw. Gonzaga never close to covering there in that one. I did cash here on the under in that game with Gonzaga and Kennesaw. I had the under here on the show yesterday, but I thought Gonzaga would actually rock them there and really hold them down. But Kennesaw was able to cover, low money. They only won there by nearly 10, 11 points in that one. So did win here on the Morning Steam, but Gonzaga not even close to covering. So I'm putting another mark against the West Coast Conference here. And Houston over Idaho. We did have another win here on the Morning Steam yesterday with the under in that game as well as the Cougars, a blowout from the start over Idaho. I actually thought Idaho would hang in that game and maybe get the money, but our pick was on the under here yesterday. So yeah, we had a pretty good day with the picks. Hope you guys did too. And we'll preview all those first round games here coming up in just a moment. Let me say hello to a few more folks here and get ready to go with our show, with our previews today. I'm going to do it again and have a good day here. AOD's pretty happy. The Detroit got it done there without Cade Cunningham here. We're not really still sure what the timetable is for Cunningham, but they were able to blow out the Wizards yesterday. And hey, we also had some good winners here yesterday on the show as well. We had the Charlotte Hornets there in a blowout over Orlando. That was a winner here on the Morning Steam show yesterday. And also we had Phoenix and San Antonio. Wemby hit that game winner. We had the winner here with the under, and we also had a premium pick winner with Phoenix there over on winnable.com. So make sure you're signed up and getting those picks from me. I'm trying very hard here to bring you some great information. It's not really just about picks or guarantees. It's just about a steady stream of picks from me every day in different sports. Keeps you informed, educated, and hopefully some winners along the way. So please consider subscribing to those, you guys. Also here, what do we have? The winner late there with that was it because we only previewed a couple of games. NHL still trying to find my way a little bit here with my show picks for sure. Man, we just want to get to the playoffs here. Is what it feels like for me right now. Yesterday, we did have a few winners, including the Boston Bruins and the blowout of Winnipeg, 6-1, Morning Steam winner there in that one. We didn't preview all the games yesterday, but we did have the Nashville Predators there and the win over Seattle and the 3-1 win. We had Buffalo, of course we did, in the 5-0 win over the Sharks. I mean, can this team get any better right now? I mean, they're just, whatever they do, they're just back-to-back shutouts right now. Man, Buffalo, they gotta be. When are we putting them in there up there with the elites now? I think it's time. I mean, come on. I know they're playing the Sharks, but that's back-to-back shutouts here and taking on all comers here at this point. Jeez, they're just wild. Did have a premium pick winner with Tampa Bay and Vancouver game to go over there 6-2. Lightning got the win and had a premium pick winner also with the Philadelphia Flyers there over the Kings. Final 4-3. We also had the over here on the show yesterday. Okay, what a great day and what a great time we're going to have here. Markets are opening right now, and we're going to take a tumble here right away. Can't open that Strait of Hormuz. We're not going to have any gas. We're not going to have any. Everything's going to be costing 5 times as much here within the next 10 days, but that's okay. We got March Madness. We can win a bunch of money. All right. See who else is here? AOD, thank you. Also, Josh is here today. He said Detroit's terrible right now. I don't know. I mean, that was pretty good for them to get that win. Nuke is here. He's ready to go with 16 games today. Okay, Bobby Mack is here as well, ready to get started. And let's see, Andrew K here. A little bit of controversy there at the end, but don't ruin a good thing there. High Point looked pretty good. There's M the Great. Thank you for your support, M the Great. Also here, let's see. Anything else? Truth Teller. Oh my God, Truth Teller's here, everybody. Stand up and salute. Say hello to the Truth Teller. He's the Truth Teller, and I'm the Truth Seller. All right, and let's see here. Josh, Wisconsin was pretty bad. I'm on BCU. I love them. Look, everybody wants to bag on old BCU too. Remember, they were saying how Shaka lost his. Remember, he started at BCU. I thought he was still pretty good. All right, let's see here. 14 of 68. I think that's a positive, right, Andrew? I mean, here I am trying to bag on the West teams, and I still am. I still am. I mean, I think the West. Look, I want to be. Where's West up parlay? I mean, he needs to. I need a motivational talk from him because I think all these West teams are bad here. And you know what? I think they're just not producing as many players in California anymore, basketball players. Why is that right now? I mean, I know it's outdoors, maybe the weather, going indoors, but there's still some great ones. But come on, too many teams for Josh in March Madness, right? You sure? I mean, come on, some of these, it's tough because the 31-point spreads in there. But like I said, right, we need to put them up against each other and then kind of whittle down the best and then kind of get into it. So put all the get rid of those extra 11 seeds. You shouldn't be have to play an extra game as an 11 seed, even if you are the at-large bid. So put all the if you're gonna go to whatever 74, whatever you're gonna do, right? Put the 16s against the 13s and the 14s against the 15s.
Final.
Boom, there you go. You settled it. You get all those. They have to play 2 games, boom, against each other to get in, and then they'll fold into the 64. You can thank me later, committee. Okay, let's see here. Bama doesn't have Holloway today. Me and Holloway are going to hang out and watch the games together. Come on over. All right. Luka, boy, ever since he got divorced, he scored 60 points yesterday. There, LeBron sets the record for the most games ever. What is it? Most games ever started in an NBA game, or the most games ever played. What was it? For LeBron, he scored the first 7 field goals, and then Luka got 60 points. He feels free. He feels rejuvenated. Okay, Nuke crushed the bracket there. Jimmy Lambeau's here today. Rolled with Arkansas. He had that Idaho under. Hope he's bringing some winners for us here. Man, is that it on the sports news today? Has there been anything to come across here? Let me do one more commercial here right now, and I'll try to find some more news. Hey, everyone, you can get ready for this Saturday's UFC card here on Sports Money Network. UFC Fight Night from London, Evloev versus Murphy here, and you can check out BB MMA Picks, where we previewed this week's main event, featherweights, top 3 contenders, Lerone Murphy from Manchester, England, Russian Movsar Evloev here. He's 19-0, Murphy 17-0-1. These guys have never lost a pro fight. Evloev coming in here as the number 1 featherweight contender. So check out BB MMA Picks. Our guest this week was Big Marcel. If you don't know who Big Marcel is, you can find him on X. He is a man who is right on top of all the latest matchups. You could try to follow some other account if you wanted to know when the latest matches were made, but you might as well just follow Big Marcel. He's almost an unofficial source for the UFC. He breaks the news about who is fighting in newly made matches or cancellation matches, obviously here, which was a big controversy yesterday. We've already lost one of the fights after the weigh-in, but follow Big Marcel 24 on X. You won't be disappointed if you're a UFC fan. He's always breaking the latest news for the latest matchups in the UFC. By the way, we also previewed welterweights, Venom Page and Sam Patterson. How about Sam Patterson? 4 straight round 1 finishes here in the UFC, and he goes up against Venom Page with only 3 career losses and 3-1 UFC record. Up and coming guys there. Record-wise, anyway, Venom Page has been around, we know, in some other organizations, but check out BB MMA Picks. And by the way, so what happened there? What happened there was a cancellation there, controversy at the weigh-ins there yesterday when Luana Carolina weighed in at 144 pounds after her opponent Mullins, with a training that everyone knew. She documents it, I believe, on social media, very hard training just to get down to 138 pounds, and her opponent didn't even try. Shows up at 144, and the bout was canceled. So they did lose a ladies bout there. That'll be no problem for us, apparently. We don't like watching those ladies fights here on the Sports Money Network here. So all right, hopefully we'll make it to the finish this week as well, all right, with that main event. We're going to start it early this week, so I'm sure we'll be able to finish the card out. That one will get underway at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific here on Saturday. This is an early start from London at the O2 Arena, so check us out here. I think we're going to be here on Saturday. At least the guys will be here anyway at UFC Fight Night, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific for Evloev and Murphy. All right. What else? Anything else? We want to start the previews. I'm sure enough of me rambling here. I don't know if there's any other big news anyway come down. They said record viewership for the sports for the World Baseball Classic. I don't know how they even keep track anymore. Everything's a new record just so they can get money out of them, I guess. But 10.7 million viewers, that really doesn't seem like a lot in today there. But all right, let's just get to the previews here. I think it's time. Here we do have, believe Friday fixtures here in a couple of leagues today, I think, right? With one game in the EPL, 2 in Serie A, 1 in La Liga, 1 in Bundesliga, and 1 in France, and a couple in Mexico tonight, including my Tijuana Xolos taking on Necaxa. All right, let's get to our 16 games. Why not? You guys are waiting patiently for me to pretend I'm a big-time sports broadcaster here, but let's go with the college games here today. We're going to start it off with action here in St. Louis with Santa Clara and Kentucky. And this one, like I said, now look, I did it for one game yesterday too, my bracket. If anybody looked at it, I basically we could just cancel the bracket contest. I couldn't drum up enough interest, and I know a few of you may do it. I mean, they're still in there. You can see mine in there too. But this is the one game yesterday. I did go against my bracket just after the assessment, after the handicap. Like I said, I filled out my bracket kind of on the whim, on the fly, and here I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take Kentucky after what I saw yesterday from, maybe shame on me kind of comparing it, but from what I saw yesterday of St. Mary's and Gonzaga, really the two best teams, even though Santa Clara had a great run there, obviously, in the tournament because they were able to beat St. Mary's. So you got to consider that. But remember, St. Mary's also blasted Gonzaga. So I'm kind of lumping the West Coast Conference in here all together, and I'm going to end up, probably here on Kentucky, if you don't mind. I hope that's okay with everybody. In the one game I think yesterday where I did the flip flop, I think was on the VCU. The TCU game, which actually I won the bracket. With TCU advancing, I switched to Ohio State there. But this one I'm going to do it too because I don't think Santa Clara, even if Kentucky isn't the usual Kentucky, and look, I don't mind what Kentucky has to offer in this game. I mean, looking at the matchup, I'm making the excuse for them. I'm making the pick for them. I mean, they've gone 4-6 straight up in their last 10 games coming in. They were tied for 7th in the SEC this year with just a 10-8 record. They did go 9-4 in their non-conference games last 4 years. I will note, though, the underdogs in the 9-7 the underdogs in the 7-11 games are 9-7 ATS, so the dog does hang in there in this matchup. Kentucky was 8-12 versus teams ranked in the top 50. They do have the number 60 field goal efficiency defense in the country. Kentucky was in the Sweet 16 last year, after all. I mean, they're in the NCAAs every year. They have gone 2-2 though in their first round games over the last 4 seasons. For Santa Clara, watch out for the rust. Maybe this is a problem with the West Coast Conference. They haven't played in 10 days. They did go 15-3, good for 3rd place in the West Coast Conference. They went 8-4 against Division I teams, or non-conference games. Santa Clara, they're the number 54 field goal efficiency defense in the country, and number 39 from inside the arc. Broncos went 5-7 versus teams in the top 100. It's funny. Coach Herb Sendek, he recruited Pope to Kentucky when Pope played at Kentucky. So there's some familiarity there. You talk about Coach Pope. I know some of you mentioned in the chat that you like Coach Pope. You think he's a good coach. And Coach Sendek, it's one of the reasons why, if you're going to take Santa Clara, I mean, you do have an excellent coach, but Santa Clara, this is the first time in 30 years they've been to the NCAA tournament. So I'm back on Kentucky. I can't do it right now after seeing what the West Coast Conference did. I know they finished pretty high there and they got 3 in. Remember, I mean, the Mountain West is supposed to be better than the West Coast Conference. West Coast Conference got 3 in. Mountain West got 1 in. So, all right, let's go to the chat here, maybe a little bit. Get your picks in this one. I'm on it. I'm on Kentucky here. I'm willing to lay it at this point. Just frustrated with the West Coast Conference and these teams. I'm sorry. Really disappointed in all the teams from out west. Hopefully something comes through. Maybe the Bruins can be that team. Obviously Arizona, nobody's going to fret on them here at this point. They got to be considered, I'm sure. Santa Clara just 3-6 against the spread their last 9 games coming in. And also Santa Clara has lost 7 straight games against SEC competition. This is a closely rated game. Kentucky's gone over in 7 of their 10 against WCC teams. They've also gone over in 4 of their last 6. Kentucky's 9-4 ATS in their last 13 games overall. Let's go to the chat and see what we got in here. And I missed Razor in there. Sorry, Razor, man, that was a few minutes. Hope he's still in here. He's probably already on the air broadcasting something. I think later Razor's got Indian cricket streams going on over there, and whatever live sports is on. They were doing an incredible job yesterday. I was watching Ixniz and Razor, listening to them instead of the broadcast because I was watching 4 games and I wanted someone like those guys. That was a great broadcast over there yesterday. Check it out. Our buddy Razor over on his channel. Man, I think they went all the way. I know for a while there I did lose track of them a little bit. When we got to the little interval, I had to go do a show. But all right, here's Twisted on Kansas. Nuke is on Santa Clara in the bracket. So you know what, Nuke? Maybe I think I did it too. And so Kentucky should win, says Power Critter. And also, Guillermo Zatucci's here. All right. Gee, good to see you in the chat there. Razor said he's on Santa Clara. Everyone is on Kentucky. Oh my God, is that? Oh no, he's doing the sarcastic. Wait, I can't tell. Sometimes I can't tell when even when he does it live, I can't tell if he's sarcastic. Right? Everyone is Kentucky. No one's heard of Santa Clara. Everyone knows. I mean, maybe because I'm of course. I'm all about Santa Clara usually. I don't know if Razor's telling the truth here. I'm on Kentucky because I have heard of Santa Clara, and I'm getting pissed off with the West Coast Conference right now. But maybe I'm a notch above. Even if I'm not on the same side as Razor, I think he understands where I'm coming from. Robert here is on the under, and this isn't your daddy's Kentucky. It's funny you mentioned that, Nuke. College basketball is something that entered my life a little bit later than the other sports as a kid. The first game I ever watched was the Duke-Kentucky. The first game I ever watched was the first championship game I ever watched was the Duke-Kentucky championship game. I think that was 1977. So I was 8 years old at the time. I was already kind of into like NFL football and, of course, Major League Baseball. Hockey, I don't know if I was quite there yet, but I remember that Duke-Kentucky game, and that was my first real we watched some games. I remember watching, and now they told me that I was watching the old UCLA Houston game, but I don't recall that. But I do remember watching a lot of those Raycom games. I think they called it back then the producer of the games. The telecasts in college basketball were really something special, I thought, on Saturdays back in the day. There were so few of them. But I remember that Duke-Kentucky game because for some reason I was with older adults, and they were gambling. They were betting and gambling on it, and I was already amazed by what was going on. Let's see, Jay's rides and shine here. Santa Clara can't stop anyone Kentucky has. Razor said all the dogs are out right there yesterday. The dogs, I believe yesterday in the 16 game, I think it ended up 10-6 for the dogs, if I'm not mistaken. I think 10-6 for the dogs winning outright, I think, and not much less against the spread. All right, Kentucky by double digits here, says Andrew. Kentucky for big crypto. And let's see, R. Thompson's here this morning, ready to go. No, 3, right, Terrell? Thank you. Thank you, Terrell. Santa Clara, though, here for R. Thompson. And look, like I said, I probably should stick to it. Don't want to be a flaky sports betting show host here right now. Hello to Jimmy. He's got Sparty Man. Look, Sparty Man's looking. Is that a smile on Sparty Man's face down there? But like I said, don't want to flake out here on Santa Clara. I rode with in my bracket, I rode with the West Coast Conference teams. I watched the games yesterday. I'm not taking Santa Clara today. That's just all there is to it. Look, like I said, I mean, whether or not the Mountain West, whether I'm pissed off because of San Diego State, and all those teams that didn't make it, and only Utah State, they don't look very good either. Here, we'll see what happens with Villanova, but I'm fading them too today. Screw these mid-major West Coast teams right now, just not having it. Hopefully it'll change next year. The Pac-12 is coming back. Don't forget, it's basically the Mountain West Conference plus Oregon State and Washington State and Gonzaga. They're forming a new conference next year. The Pac-12 is back. It's not going to have any of those other teams over there. They should. Cal, Stanford, come on back. We need you in this conference. Or you want to just go on continuing to lose game. Even the Bruins. Ha ha ha! Jokes on you, Bruins. You can't win when you travel halfway across the country 4 times a year. That's just the way it's going to be for you guys. So the West has problems here. All right, that's it for that one. I think you guys made all your comments in there. Let me continue on. We got 16 games to go, and hopefully, like I said, I had some winners yesterday. You guys don't get down on me. All right, let me see here. Next up, Akron and Texas Tech here. College basketball action for Friday here. We're going to this one in the Tampa, Florida regional. You got Texas Tech here, 7.5, total 156 here in this one with Akron and Texas Tech. Akron coming in here on a hot streak. These are the best team in the MAC. Anybody with me there? Best team in the MAC here in Akron. But hats off, no doubt. We'll talk Miami of Ohio basketball in just a moment, but Akron's taking on Texas Tech. We know Texas Tech has problems, right? I mean, their best player, he's out for the year. He's been out for a little while now. I mean, it's no surprise here. JT Toppin out, but the Red Raiders come in here with a 3-game losing streak, scoring just 64.7 points per game in those games. They were 12-6, tied for third in the Big 12 this year. The Red Raiders shooting 39% from 3-point range. That's pretty darn good. And Texas Tech gets 43% of its scoring on threes. I mean, they're one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the country. Still give them a lot of credit for that. They made it to the Elite Eight last year. They're in the tournament here for the 7th time in 8 years for Akron. They've won 10 in a row, 19 of their last 20 here right now. Didn't cover the game against Toledo there in the title game. They only won it by 3, but no problem. Akron 7-3 in Division I non-conference games. They went 17-1 in conference play. Remember, in the MAC that hell had Miami of Ohio in it. The Zips come in here with the number 8 effective field goal percentage in the country, and also 38.5% along the arc, good for number 14 in the country. So they can score. Akron did go 0-3 versus teams in the top 100, but 2 of those games they lost by just 3 points. Since 2013, the MAC teams are just 3-11 in the NCAAs, 3-1 in the play-in. But here you got Akron in the NCAA for the 4th time in 5 years. I mean, they certainly have the experience here. They've lost their last 3 first-round games, however, by 4 points, 17 points, and 28 points. So can they hang here in this one against Texas Tech? Do they have what it takes to stay in the game here against the Red Raiders? The Red Raiders were just 10-12 against the spread as a favorite. Akron as an underdog? This is only the 2nd time they've been an underdog all year. 1-0, obviously, as 1-0 as an underdog. They did not win that game, of course, but covered the spread. here. So let's see what you have here with Akron, their big winning streak. They've lost 5 straight games to the Big 12. They're 4-2 ATS in their last 6. They've gone under in 6 straight games. Texas Tech has gone under in 8 of their last 11. So they might be shooting it up, but it is still a pretty high number here. 2 offensive teams, it feels like, but the number's pretty high. I think it's almost too high. These teams are not necessarily over teams at all, despite the portrayal. In fact, Akron is just 14-18 to the under, and away from home they were 2-11 to the under. Texas Tech, meanwhile, 14-18 to the under this year, and again they've been going under here of late. So let's see what you think here in this one between Akron and Texas Tech here. And the MAC, I don't know. Did they get some points for that Miami of Ohio win there? And first time these teams have ever met. You got Akron. They've got Tabari Johnson. He averages 20 points a game, 5 assists. Ramon Scott, my brother, in there. Bowen Hardman. They've made 75 3-pointers each this season. They're, like I said, a top three-pointing shooting team nationally. Now, Texas Tech isn't just totally decimated without Toppin. They have Christian Anderson. He did injured. He was the guy, really, that they ended up getting rid of that ugly floor. They say ugly. I thought it was cool. I wanted the floor out there, but he was injured on the floor, on that slippery glass floor that they called, and really was the injury why they switched to the hardwood court for the next round there in the semifinals, because of Anderson leaving the game. He left the loss to Iowa State. Okay, let's go to the chat and see what you have here. And I might reserve my pick to see what everyone's got. Okay. Let's see, Terrell. He liked the 82 tourney with, oh man, what some great teams there. You gotta love Georgetown. Remember when you have Coach Thompson? He would come out and he had that because Lou Carnesecca of St. John's, he would have that. He had his own sweater, right, an ugly sweater, and then in the championship game, John Thompson, ever the funny man, he had the same matching sweater as the other coach, as Coach Carnesecca. Remember, that was awesome. Blue Sheet Tipster, that's awesome there. Man, great to have you in there, Blue Sheet Tipster. I'm going to follow that. I don't know what it's all about, but it sounds pretty good. If it's a blue sheet and it's a tip sheet, that might be what I like to read right there. Thank you, Blue Sheet Tipster. That's cool to see you in there. Although I see a note there. It could be like a blue sheet, like a blue notes maybe. It might be musician. It could be a musician tipster. And Blue Sheet can play the music and I'll rap the picks. Twisted says we got Akron when it opened. It was a good number, but now maybe it's going the other way. Robert here does like Akron here and a little the money line. Our Thompson's on Akron. I'm glad to see you guys on Akron here. It does feel like the kind of dog I want to. I'm more interested in these dogs than maybe the others. Texas Tech, though, for Power Critter. Good morning to Eric Acevedo. Robert likes the under here. And Nuke says it'll maybe too much for Akron, but he's not going to take Texas Tech right now. I think Texas Tech's team total over there, it looks like for Eric Big Crypto says Akron here also is upset alerts there for Andrew K. Hello to Jimmy today. 9 Legacy. Kentucky Santa Clara full game over. Texas Tech on the spread and full game over. Thank you to 9 Legacy. All right. Hey, I'm going to take the under here in this one with Akron and Texas Tech, but you know where I'm going there, and I might need a premium here today for some of the subscribers. They said, where are the college basketball plays? And I didn't send any out on Winnable because I thought we were kind of going them all here right now. So, all right, hey, the ESPN just sent out, the big the women's tournament really kicks off today, and those games start here at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. I'll have a few games here. I don't know about the early games. Do have my breakdowns kind of ready there, but we get underway here in the ladies tournament in 90 minutes from now. College of Charleston, Duke, UC San Diego, and TCU among the early games in the ladies' first round here today, getting started the first day for them. They had some play-in tournament, and I lost yesterday's play-in. I got greedy there after sweeping the board there, or winning the day before. All right, let's see here. Farley's on the over, and I'm gonna take the under here in this one with Akron and Texas Tech. But yeah, I'm on this dog probably here. All right, let's keep it moving here right now, and they do. John, back teams are terrible in March Madness there. But I don't know. The times they might be a changing. Let's go next up to LIU taking on Arizona here. Certainly an intriguing game here. I know it's a big old spread, but you got Coach Rod Strickland of Long Island. They're getting 31 points here. He's still in Arizona right now. I'm not lumping in Arizona with those other West Coast teams here, but this is a 116, so the spread's 30.5. What we can do here a little bit here. It's in San Diego though. Arizona won their last 9 games, but just 5-3 against the spread. Their last 8, 16-2 in conference play, and the winning the conference by 2 whole games when it was all said and done. Last 5 years, the number 1 seeds are 11-9. ATS in the first round. Arizona did win all their non-conference games. Obviously, the Wildcats are 8-0 versus teams ranked outside the top 100. With all of those wins coming by at least 19 points or more, Arizona has the number 3 effective field goal percentage defense in the country. Under Coach Lloyd, though, so far, Arizona just 1-3 against the spread in first round games, all very similar games kind of to this. For LIU, they've won 17 of their last 20. They won the NEC by 3 games overall. NEC, though, ranks way at the bottom. We know that. LIU did go 6-7 in their non-conference games, 0-3 versus top 100s, losing by 22, 40, and 15. They're not very good on the glass, or almost a bottom 300 defensive rebounding team. NEC teams in their last 9 first-round games in the tournament, 2-7 against the spread. LIU's for the first time since playing in the play-in back in 2018. So I think it kind of describes to me. I'm going to have to lay it here, I think, with Arizona here in this one. But let me know how you see it. I know it's 31 points. They weren't all huge blowouts with some of the lopsided games there yesterday, but in this one, I'm going to probably take Arizona here minus the 30.5 and see how you guys play it too. I'll go to the chat a little bit here, but again, read off some of those numbers there, right, against NEC teams. Not too good right here. They only fit in the first round anyways, pretty much. So we'll see here. NEC, they did win the tournament championship over Mercyhurst, 79-70. That was back on March the 10th. So Arizona, of course, played on Saturday against Houston, won 79-74. You got elite front court, obviously, with Koa Pete, Toby Awaka. So LIU will be a much shorter team. They do have also for Arizona, Braden Burries, averaging 16 points a game. He's a guy that can catch fire. They could win the national championship. So LIU is top 50 nationally in steals and turnovers. So that's going to have to be their game at all if they're going to be able to try to cover in this one. They're pretty aggressive, man-to-man style. Man-to-man style team, forcing 13 turnovers a game. Jamal Fuller, he leads the team with 16.5 points scoring, shooting 52% from the field. LIU 4-1 against the spread their last 5 games. Arizona 6 straight wins over NEC foes. Let's go to the chat here in this one. And we've got here Jimmy might be on the under here. Twisted's on the under. Nuke likes Arizona to win it all. It's one of 3 futures bets that I do have here, and that's my lowest payout for sure, but it's kind of my insurance one. Andrew, I'll have a women's card here. I might have to skip the first few games doing the show here right now. should have planned out a little better, but do have some picks there in the women's game. I think they'll be in the premiums. LIU could be held really low here for sure. I think this is probably the way to go in this one. Maybe it should be my play, actually, but I was kind of saving the total maybe for a premium here, actually. But I think you see there, you got an Arizona team here. They're not a big under team necessarily, but for LIU, they were 14-20. 14-20 to the under this season. Twisted's on the under. How about first half under for Marty Briggs is here. Great to have Marty in the chat. All right, Art Thompson's on the under. And Marty says, how about that first half under in that game, huh? I mean, I'd probably like the under here. So Arizona plays a style to blow the bum teams out, says Terrell, unlike the other teams. And Robert here on Arizona as well. So I'm going to take Arizona here as my play on the Morning Steam Show. All right, let's keep it going here right now. We got a lot of games to go to. How about Wright State taking on UVA here? This one's in Philly in this one. And, well, you know what? Hey, we ever like to pick on a team that may go down in the first round? I mean, you could fill in the blank with whoever the opponent is, right? You're just probably going to fade. I don't know. Maybe someone is going to take – maybe y'all are going to take Virginia in there. I don't know if I'm going to. Maybe we've just seen too many times Virginia as the first round choker a little bit here. This is a 3-14 game in this one. Virginia's won 13 of their last 15. They went 15-3, second place behind Duke in the ACC, 11-1 in non-conference games. They have the number 5 effective field goal defense in the country, right? People wanted to keep going over with Virginia like they were some newfangled over team. They still ended up as an under team, and it felt like, sure, it's not the Virginia of the past where the game is landing 113 or something like that, but nonetheless, getting some updates here. Karl Anthony Towns is questionable here versus Brooklyn tonight. Also, Kaprizov of Minnesota, he's got a lower body injury. He's questionable for tomorrow. Anyway, Virginia 10-0 against teams outside the top 100. Last 6 years, the number 3 seeds in the NCAA tournament, 16-8 against the spread, 67%. Virginia, we want to make fun of them. Don't forget they won the title back in 2019. They're in the NCAAs for the 4th time in 6 years. Wright State 18-4 in their last 22 after a 5-7 start. They did win the league there by 2 games. The Raiders have the number 59 effective field goal defense in the country, so they are a defensive team in their little league there. Wright State 3-6 versus non-conference games this season straight up. They're 0-3 versus teams in the top 100, losing by 10 points, 25 points, and 7 points. Last 4 years, the Horizon League 4-0 in the first round, a team that knows how to produce some offense, even if Wright State might be the defense. They're in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2022. What do you think here with Virginia and Wright in this one? I mean, I always want to fade Virginia here. I don't care who they're playing, it seems like. And Wright State comes in a winning streak. They're 7-2 against the spread as an underdog this year. They were 11-4 against the spread away from home. They were just a darn good cover is what they were. They've also covered 6 straight games against the ACC, 6-0 against the spread against the ACC here. They've got every spread detail going their way. Virginia here has gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. They were an okay cover this season, but they did go 12-15 to the under as a favorite here. Wright State's not a big under necessarily, but it just feels like when this kind of clash here, probably still be like a Virginia style under here that could be more into the 130s and the 140s. I'm going to take Wright State as my play, but I'll probably be trying to find a way to get some under action in here. My official play, though, is going to be right. Don't want to be wrong. Let's go to the chat. here in this one and see what you have here. Feaster Ritter, of course, paces Virginia with 15.5 points per game and 6 rebounds. Wright State's got Michael Cooper. No, not that Michael Cooper, but they've also have Imerigby and TJ Birch. Cooper averages 13.5 points per game, right? 16-0 when they score at least 80 points this season. So they can produce the offense, but Virginia defense under Odom here probably can play the Virginia style, and that might help Wright State, when you're getting 18 points there or so. There, Virginia actually has not won a tournament game since they won that national championship, I think, back in 2019. So Wright State, the regular season tournament champion as well here this season. So they won both. No fluke here. They won the regular season and won the league tournament as well. Let's go to the chat. And here we go. Virginia laying 18. No way. Give me Wright. If you're not going with Wright, you might be wrong. Robert here on the under. And right, Terrell. Oh, this Virginia team, they're a totally different team now. They're going to be right. Oh, yeah. And Virginia, remember, they lost to a number 16 seed. You know who that was, Nuke? That was Maryland, Baltimore County. And we saw that they, how well they played in the play-in there. They didn't win, but they lost by 3. A pretty good-looking team there. Art Thompson's on the under there. And let's see, Andrew K., Wright State, Arizona on the spread, Virginia on the spread for 9. You can see Trap God's here today. Trap God. We got celebrities in the chat. Marty Riggs, Trap God, NYC Bar on Wright State. Marty says everyone's on Santa Clara. He might be a little behind us there. Farley here on Wright, and Nuke says, that's right. That's right. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. All right. All right. Right. And after every game, I say, all right. So we got to go with Wright here in this one. Give me Wright, and I think Wright's got to go the defensive route here. I don't see Wright scoring 80 points there. Obviously, they're not even scheduled to score that many. What is it supposed to be here? 72. It's supposed to be about 80 to 60 here, right? That'd be I need 80 to 65. I need under. I need 75 to 75, 65. 75, 65 gets it all home here. Virginia wins 75, 65. There's my prediction. All right, and let's move on. We got to keep moving, going, you guys. Now, this one, look, Tennessee State. I want to try to find a way on give the dog every chance here before looking here a little bit. Try to analyze, find a way. Can this dog get there? Can this dog get there? I don't know if this dog will hunt. Do want to mention some steam here coming in right now. It's on the Akron, Texas Tech game on the under here. I just went with the under, and now this one's on the move. Is that our first steam alert of the day? This one's down to 155 right now here with Akron and Texas Tech. Big move to the under here right now. I'm on it, and some of you were too. All right. Anyway, Tennessee State and Iowa State. Now, look, some of the tournament teams have had experience. Tennessee State, not so much. They've won 6 in a row, 9 of their last 10. They went tied for first in the OVC. I like the OVC. 15-5 record. They are a top 25 team in forcing turnovers. They went 3-4 in non-division in their Division I non-conference games. They did lose twice to teams outside the top 100. Only took on 2 of them in the top 100, and they lost by 8 and 29 points. Last 5 years, OVC 1-4 against the spread in the first round games. They're playing games often similar to this. This is the first time for Tennessee State in the tournament in 32 years. So see what you can do here with these guys right now. But Iowa State, 6-5 in their last 11. I get that. They were 21-2, but again, they've actually started to play well again, it feels like. Here we got breaking news, guys. We have breaking news right now. Stand by for breaking news.
Notice.
Guys, just some really crummy news coming in right now here too, all over the place on Twitter, we can confirm that legendary actor Chuck Norris has passed away here. You want to double check your because I think we've heard this one before, right? But man, really a bummer here. We heard he had a strange situation or illness there yesterday, but just within the last few minutes. I'm sorry I kind of missed it here. It's actually been for a few minutes right now, but the legendary actor Chuck Norris has passed away. Everybody's kind of a big fan of this guy for sure. One of the great actors there, all the tough guy movies, man, just in there. And again, like I said, came down with some kind of illness there yesterday. Had a medical emergency in Hawaii, and they said his spirits were good, cracking jokes and everything. But I'm starting to see it on some major outlets here: Fox News, BNO News, TMZ. I mean, you can laugh at TMZ, but we're seeing it all over right now. So, bummer here. But right now, we'll get to our back to our show here right now. But that just in here, we're seeing it all over right now on social media. All right, let's get back to the games here, though. We'll try to get through this, and this will be all right, but bummer. Okay, where are we at? All right, anyway, so looking at Iowa State here, look, rolled in their non-conference games, still 12-6 in the Big 12. Cyclones forced turnovers as well. Number 4 actually in the country for forcing turnovers. Iowa State a number 20 effective field goal percentage. Also number 12 in the country effective field goal percentage from last 3 years. Number 2 seeds in the first round are 8-4 against the spread. So Iowa State is 3-1 against the spread in their first round games. I just think that this one is one that I can get behind. A big favorite. I think a better chance that Iowa State covers here than Tennessee State for me in this one. I'm willing to lay this one a little bit right now. OVC obviously has had some issues in the tournament here. So let's see if we got the chat here in this one with Tennessee State and Iowa State. Tennessee State will not score 60, says Twisted. And he also went under there. And let's see here. Iowa State here for our Thompson. Robert will take Tennessee State, though. He'll take it. He'll take Tennessee State here. And, it is kind of a thing where, some of these big dogs can still get there. Iowa State for Farley. Cash Kane and Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. All right. Let's keep it moving here right now. We got plenty more games to go. Got to keep the show on track here. Hofstra takes on Alabama. In this one, you've got Alabama coming in here 23-9. Hofstra's on a roll, man. The tournament committee is so goofball sometimes, where they put the team. I wonder if they did this one. They put some dumb things, right? They put like 2 coaches, they put like coaches that maybe should play each other and stuff. Maybe they did the. Do you think they did this one because it's the Pride versus the Tide? Probably not. But let's take a look here at this one between Hofstra. Hofstra's been hot, man. They've been covering these winning games, covering numbers. Let's see what happens here. But for Alabama, of course, they're going to be missing their number 2 leading scorer. If you didn't hear now, I don't know. Look, I mean, I guess the man was in business, had a couple of pounds of weed. And, but they said he had it in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the living room, in the bedroom. He had a tray under his bed. I mean, I know what that means. That means you're just rolling your own. So they had enough for 1,600 joints, they said, but won't be enough to get him off the hook here and into the lineup today. So they'll be missing their number 2 scorer overall. Something like that. You got to be a little bit flustered if you're the team, right? Because this guy's kind of let you down a little bit.
Steam play.
We got a little bit of steam here right now on a game we just talked about a short time ago. Let's update it here. It's on the game between Long Island and Arizona. Steam to the under right now. It was 149. It opened like closer to 150, right? And this one's going lower here to 147.5 right now. Steam to the under right this second. Long Island and Arizona steam to the under there. Maybe it was you guys because, like I said, I was talking, is LIU even going to score enough points? Okay, so Alabama's won 9 of their last 11, finished second place, 13-5 in the SEC. Alabama, basically number one in the country in shooting 3-pointers. So, as far as their man is concerned, there, the suspended player, he was shooting 44%. Aiden Holloway there for Alabama. Crimson Tide was 12-1 against teams outside of the top 100. Alabama's in the tournament for the 6th year in a row. They've made it to the Sweet 16 in the last 3 years, Sweet 16 or better. Hofstra, meanwhile, they've won 7 in a row and 11 of their last 12. They went 12-6 in the Coastal. Hofstra has a top 10 effective defense, field goal percentage defense in the country. They went 7-4 in their non-conference games this year. They also went 2-1 in 2-1 against top 100 teams. They beat 2 ACC teams this year. I will tell you, though, however, that Coastal teams are 0-6 ATS in their last 6 NCAA tournament games. Hofstra in here for the first time since 2001, so 25-year absence for the Pride here. But hey, I don't know. I like what I see from the Hofstra Pride. Let's hear from you in the chat. Now, look, Alabama definitely going to still try to fill it up here, but let's see how you guys have it in this one with Bama taking on Hofstra here. Like I said, I don't know. For me, I'm kind of liking the maybe Hofstra in this game to kind of end up. They're going to have to play a little bit of defense, but they could trade here a little bit with Alabama. It feels like, and they have the right metrics that feels like a decent matchup here for Hofstra, actually. And they're 6-2 against the spread as an underdog this season, 21-11 ATS, a really strong spread record. Alabama, meanwhile, just 9-13 against the spread as a favorite. So they're going to have to rely on Byland Jr., obviously, more. 22 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Hofstra here did win that Colonial Championship over Monmouth, and they've got Cruz Davis, man, 20 points a game, 4 assists, 3.5 rebounds. He was the Coastal Player of the Year. So Alabama 4th in adjusted tempo. I mean, they not going to stop firing here. It feels like Hofstra. Meanwhile, they're definitely a contrast to there. Despite they're a slower team, they do shoot it well, but 317th in adjusted tempo. So you do have a stylistic matchup. And which do you think kind of takes precedence here between the two a little bit? What do you think? What do you think comes out of it when the two teams meet together against one another? Hofstra's gone under in 9 of their last 13. Alabama's kind of always a over team in the tournament. Let's go to the chat here and see if we've got any plays. Alabama here for our tops. VAR's got the over here. And right, Twisted. I mean, that was just, what you did, right? If you got a little money, what were you going to do? Because you could just sell it, make a little money. Robert here is on Hofstra. Trap God likes the over as well there. So, man, that's kind of the way I feel in the matchup too, with the way this should set up here between these two teams. And maybe I could take Hofstra here, but I kind of want to play the total as my play on the show right now. But let's hear from you in the chat here. I'm going to look one more time here before I make my call in this one. But I kind of agree with that total. The only problem is here, the total here. It's gone down a little bit here, right? Let me see. No, it was still 158 here right now, but look, it opened here higher than this for sure. I think there might be a little value, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I don't know now. I'm going to go with the over in this one with Hofstra and Alabama. I'm taking the over here. I'm kind of going against my model over here. Model's saying go under heavily, but it's like I said, it's gone down from 161.5 to 158.5. I'm going over here. All right, enough from you guys in the chat. No more. Okay, let's move on to Utah State taking on Villanova. And yeah, I'm not taking Utah State here at all, especially as a favorite. No way. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one for the Mountain West. Maybe it is Utah State here against Villanova. It's obviously an 8-9 game, so anything can happen here. Utah State's won 4 in a row. They're 28-6 overall. Villanova 24-8. They're actually the 8th seed and an underdog in the game. The game is being played in San Diego, so Utah State might be a little bit more. They're familiar with the venue, playing there once a year and playing well there, but. I don't want Utah State here. I'll do a preview of the game here with you guys, but I guess I could just make my pick. The Aggies have won 13 of their last 16. They won the Mountain West, obviously, by a game. They did go 9-1 in non-conference games this year. They're top 20 team in forcing turnovers. They did go 15-4 versus teams ranked inside the top 100. They've shot 59% from inside the three-point arc. That was a good for a top 15 rating in the country. Utah State's in the tournament for the fifth time in 6 years. They have lost 3 of their last 4 overall. Coming in. Hey, there's some steam coming in here real quick right now. Queens versus Purdue. Steam to the under here in this one right now. I'm not sure about that, but steam coming in here at 162. It's down to 160.5. This one opened as high as 163.5. This one's kind of taking a beating here lower. Queens and Purdue steam to the under big time here in that one. All right, so Utah State's lost 3 of their last 4 first-round games. They're often in matchups similar to this. Villanova did split their last 6 games after a 21-5 start to finish 3rd in the Big East. Here, Villanova was 9-2 in non-conference games. Villanova was 1-6 versus teams ranked in the top 50 this year, similar to Utah State. They're probably a top 30 team or so. They're not a very good rebounding team. They're in basically the bottom 250 there teams on the defensive rebounding there. Villanova is actually in the tournament for the first time in 4 years, as Coach Willard was in the Sweet 16 though last year with Maryland. Let's see what you think here. This one, Villanova. Taking on Utah State. So there are definitely some, what I would consider some negative things in there about Villanova there a little bit, but they were 19-13 against the spread this season. Utah State actually finished 14-16 against the spread as a favorite, 15-18 against the spread overall. Utah State does have Mountain West Conference Tournament MVP MJ Collins, who scored 20 points in the championship game. Villanova lost to Georgetown in the quarters, 78-64. So these guys are even in KenPom. They're 30 and 33rd respectively here. So it's going to be close, obviously, but I don't want the Mountain West in a close game. I think that's just that's about where I'd draw it. So it is Willard's first tournament here with getting Villanova in here. So I think he did a pretty good job. Utah State averages 83 points per game. Villanova averages 77.6 per game, although Villanova is 22-5 straight up when holding opponents below 80 points. So let's see what you got here. Villanova taking on Utah State here. Utah State gone over in 8 of their last 12. Villanova's gone over in 14 of their last 19. Villanova just 2-5 against the spread last 7 games, despite winning 9 of their last 12. All right, here we go with Iowa 9 Legacy. There took Iowa State on spread. Let's see. Iowa State on the spread, team total over. Alabama on the spread, team total over. Bar is on Nova. Farley is on Nova. Robert does want Utah State. So does Trap God. Robert's on the under in this one. And Flea Mathis is here. Says those dogs were barking. I had them at 10-6 straight up yesterday, the underdogs. And Flea's here. All right. I think that's it there in that one. I'm going to take Utah State. I mean, I'm taking Villanova. Jeez, almost. I'm taking Villanova here. Keep it going here right now with a game everyone's talking about, a team everybody's talking about, Miami of Ohio Redhawks. They're getting 11 points from Tennessee, like everybody just forgot that they won that game there on Tuesday and went 31-1 in conference play. I'm so wishy-washy on this team, but I'm back in their corner a little bit here. I like what I saw. I like the composure that they had in that game last time out. Yeah, was I a little embarrassed for them when they spouted off after beating Ohio? And hey, I faded them the next game and they lost. Okay, but they came back here. Remember, I switched to them and said, hey, you know what? As a big dog, I'm going to take them against SMU. I thought it'd be closely rated. Well, it wasn't even close. 89-79, that win for Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is now 4-0 against the spread as an underdog this season. Tennessee, meanwhile, just 10-14 against the spread as a favorite, 14-19 against the spread overall. Tennessee's kind of been alternating wins and losses and covers here after losing to Vanderbilt. 75-68 is a 2-point favorite. They're in that game against them there in the semifinals. For Miami of Ohio, they beat an ACC team to get in here, so I think that proved that they belong. They shot 16 of 41 for all those 3-pointers in that game, setting a tournament record. Miami won the MAC, obviously, regular season undefeated. They also went 14-0 in non-conference games this year. They did play the weakest schedule, one of the weakest schedules in the country, 4th from the bottom. Now, I get it, okay. The problem here is with that, they played crummy teams in their non-conference season. They racked up a bunch of wins there. That's why they ended up undefeated, right? A lot of teams end up, you play good teams, kind of sometimes you go get paid a little bit in some of those conferences. The MAC's kind of in between, they have pretty good following and everything. But the reason why you don't see the worst teams in the country playing the worst schedules when you're talking about teams like in the MEAC and the SWAC and the NEC, they go around the country taking all these paydays and they have a tough schedule, right? That's why they're all, 2-12 by the time they start conference play. So there's a little bit to that too. But, in rating the schedule, they are playing the 5th easiest schedule in the country, talking about the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. They went 11-1 versus teams in the top 200, 2-0 against teams in the top 100. Who were they? Akron. Those are tournament teams. Redhawks played a decent pace, about number 60 in the country. They're in the tournament here for the first time in 19 years. Meanwhile, for Tennessee here, they lost 4 of their last 6 coming in, went 11-4 in the SEC, tied for 4th place, went 10-3 in their non-conference games. They are ranked 35th in a field goal efficiency in the country here. Also, they were 12-2 versus teams ranked outside the top 50. Tennessee was the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the country. They made it to the Elite 8 in each of the last 2 years, made it to the Sweet 16 in the year before that. So their trajectory is still going up technically right now as a program here. So can Miami of Ohio do it here, guys, one more time? It does seem a little bit insulting, even 11.5, but Tennessee, like I said, obviously a high-quality team here. let's go to the chat in this one and hear from you. Miami of Ohio just 1-4 against the spread in their last uh, 5 games coming in, but Tennessee 2-4 ATS. Tennessee's gone under in 6 of 7. Miami of Ohio's gone under in 8 of 12 coming into this one. Miami of Ohio here for Farley. Jim says no SEC team should be giving double digits. He's saying you SEC teams are the teams that are, you guys are the ones that are down right now. Josh says Miami, Ohio is done. Let's not kid ourselves here. And 9 legacies on Villanova. I'm taking the Red Hawks. I'm taking them. I'm taking the Red Hawks here plus 11.5. Yep, I'm going to do it. Twisted's going to take them as well here. I don't know if it's so much that I'm a believer of this situation, but I'm kind of more on the SEC, not exactly going, gung-ho here right now. I think is more the case. And when you get a team with a lot of momentum like this, like Miami of Ohio, it feels like right now, I think that's more what I'm interested in, going against the SEC a little bit. Saying that they shouldn't be favored by 11, I actually
critical notice.
I kind of thought the line was a little light, but I still am going to take them here. Miami beat SMU there, obviously. Tennessee, when they lost to Vanderbilt there, that was kind of a road game in a way there. I know a lot of people were thinking that Tennessee was going to have the home crowd, but it did end up being I don't know, it was 50-50, but obviously wasn't played in their arena. So they should have played better in that game. I know that. Now, Tennessee does give up the second fewest points per game in the SEC. They prefer a slow pace. They prefer to dominate the boards and walk it up. And, they know they can control the boards here. So I don't know if that's going to result necessarily in an under with this game. However, I might be going over. But anyways, for Miami, they are a 3-point oriented attack. They were chucking them up like nobody's business. But Tennessee, they've got Nate Ament, who definitely could stand to put a few pounds on that 6'10" freshman frame, but 17.5 points and 6 rebounds. Jacoby Gillespie also, all SEC first team running that offense. So I'm going to take Miami here. Let's see any more picks in the chat. Tennessee to win, says Big Crypto. And Greg here's on Utah State on the money line back there. Villanova to win easy, says Big Crypto. And Greg there with his prognostication, 79-71. Let's keep it going here right now. And go to the next one with another key game here. You got another 8-9 matchup here with Iowa and Clemson. In this one, Clemson comes in having won 3 of 4. Iowa lost last time out, and they've lost 4 of their last 5. They lost to Ohio State 72-69. Iowa just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. 13-9 against the spread, however, as a favorite. Clemson 4-2 against the spread as an underdog here. They're getting the points in this one. This one's being played in Tampa, Florida. For Iowa here, they've actually lost 7 of their last 10. They went 10-10 in conference play. They're a top 15 in forcing turnovers. Iowa also ranked 16th in effective field goal percentage this season. They were 11-10 versus teams ranked in the top 100. Iowa 10-1 in non-conference teams. We talk about Miami of Ohio and their 351st ranked schedule, just 3 from the bottom. Well, Iowa was 336 in their non-conference schedule anyway. That's if you eliminate the Big Ten teams. So they didn't play anybody outside here. And you're looking at a team like Clemson. Obviously, that for a while there, they were challenging in the ACC. I was in the NCAAs for the first time in 3 years. Of course, Coach McCallum came over from Drake to coach this team, and he upset Missouri in the NCAA tournament last year. Pretty much got him this job. Clemson, meanwhile, 4-6 in their last 10 games. They were 12-6 in the ACC, and eventually finished tied for fourth place. They're number 15 in the country on the defensive glass. They went 9-3 in non-conference games, 6-6 versus teams in the top 50. Clemson's opponents have the sixth longest possessions in the country. So Clemson plays a defense that forces you to continue to move the ball, pass it along while you're waiting for your shot. Clemson's in the NCAA tournament for the third year in a row. They did go to the Elite Eight 2 years ago. Let's see what you have in this one with Iowa and Clemson here. Iowa just 6-1. I'm sorry, 1-4, as I said, straight up in ATS in their last 5. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, actually, versus ACC opponents. Clemson 4-2 straight up, but 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're not exactly terrific in March, that's for sure. But Clemson's 5-2 ATS in their last 7 games against the Big Ten. Let's hear from you in the chat in this one between Iowa and Clemson and get your picks here. Clemson is without their second leading scorer in this game in center Carter Whaling. He tore his ACL during the ACC tournament. Iowa, meanwhile, erased a 16-point second-half deficit there with that, and had that look at a game-tying three-pointer at the buzzer in that Ohio State game in the third round of the tournament. Iowa's won 3 of the 4 all-time meetings between these two teams, but have never met in the postseason. Of course, Iowa's led by senior Bennett Sturtz, first team All-Big Ten. Here we go. Greg says, Clemson here by 3. Twisted said, this is going to be possibly an under here in this one. Maybe a little sneaky under there.
Steam play.
Right now, don't mean to put Twisted on the spot, but look at your screens right now. The total is moving over in this game. That steam that just came in is on this game. It's up to 131 right now with Iowa and Clemson right here. Open as low as 129. I didn't mean to do that right when Twisted said sneaky under, but Trap God here. It's going over here right now. All the books are lighting up here. 130, 130.5 now. They're all starting to fire. Greg says the wrong team's favored in this one. Robert has Iowa. Greg says Clemson and the under easy here. Big Crypto says he likes Clemson to win. He likes Clemson also to upset Florida. Greg said these spreads are crazy here. JP Farley is on Iowa. Interesting steam there. And look, I see it looks like most of the chat really wants to go under here. And I didn't necessarily want to go under. I'm going with the over in this one. I'm chasing this steam now. They got me. I waited too long. Give me the over here in this one with Iowa and Clemson. I'm on the over here. All right, Twisted says he's got a parlay here. Nova money line and under. Clemson money line and under. Thank you, Twisted. Keep it moving here right now. No time to waste. Northern Iowa is going to take on St. John's in this one. You got the Johnnies here, favored by 9.5 over Northern Iowa here. This is a 5-12 matchup. Northern Iowa is hot, but I got a question right now. Maybe St. John's plays down to their competition sometimes, no doubt about it, particularly in the tournament of late. But St. John's does come in here 20-14 against the spread. Northern Iowa 4-2 against the spread as an underdog, 19-15 against the spread overall here for the Panthers. For the Johnnies here, they've won 6 in a row, 19 of their last 20. The only loss was that game where they only scored 40 points to Kentucky. We've heard that a million times. Red Storm won the Big East by a game. They won the Big East tournament. They're still seeded number 5 here because I guess the Big East just isn't a very good conference. St. John's has a top 30 effective field goal defense percentage-wise. They went 23-1 versus teams ranked outside the top 50. They're a top 30 team on the offensive glass. They also went 7-4 straight up in non-conference games. St. John's won an NCAA tournament game last year for the first time since 2000. So, like I said, this team has not been very successful. Patino's here now. He's been guiding this team. He is 2-2 straight up in his last first round games. Northern Iowa hasn't played in 12 days. They went 11-9, tied for sixth in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're a team that needed to win the 4 games in 4 days to get here with those wins over Evansville, Illinois State, Bradley, and UIC. The crazy thing about that was, when you talk about them kind of coming from, winning, they were favored in all those games. So it is interesting because, like I said, they finished tied for sixth in the conference, but were favored in the games, and they did win them. Now, they didn't cover them all. They didn't cover against Evansville, laying 14.5. They didn't cover against Bradley, laying 4.5. But it just was interesting to me that they ended up being favored even in the championship game. Northern Iowa was just 1-7 this season versus teams in the top 100. They did go 7-2 in their non-conference games. Last 6 years, underdogs in the first round in the 5-12 game are 14-10 against the spread. This is Northern Iowa's first trip to the NCAAs in 10 years. Let's go to the chat, hear from you in this one between Northern Iowa and St. John's. Northern Iowa, the 5-game winning streak, 4-1 ATS in those games. St. John's has won 6 straight, 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games. St. John's has gone under in 9 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. Let's see what you have. I'll go to the chat here. I've got St. John's to make a run here. In fact, I've got to go pretty far, actually, on my ESPN bracket. But, again, I took some longer shots to go deeper in the ESPN bracket. Greg Gibson's got his prognostication in here. Here's Twisted, like St. John's, laying those points. Greg says it's good enough for him, Northern Iowa and under. Robert's on Northern Iowa here. Jim Duweiger says UConn's a number 2 and St. John's a number 5. The NCAA stuck it to Patino. They're never going to stop it, right? Here's a St. John's team that won the conference tournament, won the regular season, and they're placed well behind Connecticut there. Clemson and Utah State for a parlay. Don't sleep on Northern Iowa. I'm going to sleep Northern Iowa. I'm taking St. John's here to roll in this one. I've got the Johnnies to crush Northern Iowa. An imposter, good run for them. Great job winning those games. Like I said, they were favored in all of them. But, again, they needed to win 4 games in 4 days to win the conference tournament and advance. They were 6th place in the regular season in that league. All right, we move on. Central Florida is going to take on UCLA here. UCLA favored by 5.5. We're starting to see some 5s, I believe, out there as well. The Bruins come in here, the 7 seed. Central Florida, the 10 seed. So got a closely rated matchup here. 5.5 points, obviously. Look, got to wonder if Coach Mickey got all upset again because he had to move, he has to travel here all the way to Philadelphia for his regional game. What are you doing to us? Coach Mickey's probably saying here. I mean, what do we have to do? UCLA was still 12-9 against the spread as a favorite. UCF was 10-7 against the spread as a dog, but again, they were struggling down the stretch, going just 1-4 straight up and against the spread. UCLA, meanwhile, 4-1 straight up, 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games. The only one they didn't win, of course, was to Purdue. Still 73-66. They got the money in that game, did the Bruins. So for UCLA, they've won 6 of their last 8, 13-7 in the Big Ten, 8-3 in non-conference games. UCLA is a top 20 shooting team from 3. They don't shoot a lot of three-pointers. When they do, they make them. I always have a problem with that because if you're making 38% of your threes and you're a top 23-point shooting team, why aren't you taking more three-pointers? UCLA was just 7-9 versus teams ranked in the top 60 this year. They are a terrible rebounding team, basically in the top 275 on the defensive glass. UCLA with Cronin, 4-0 straight up in the first round. Here he's taking them to the tournament, winning in the first round every time. For Central Florida, like I said, they've lost 4 out of their last 5. The Knights went 500 in the Big 12. They're also kind of an interior team, getting more than half their points from inside the arc. They ranked top 65 in that category. They won 11 of 12 non-conference games. Did just go 4-5, however, versus teams in the top 40, such as UCLA. Also, UCF went 11 and UCF went 11-1 in non-conference games. Okay, yeah, we said that. Lost my place there. I think I'm just rattling this off. I actually have a script here. Last year, the favorites in the 7-10 game were 11-8 against the spread in the last 5 years. In the 7-10 game, the favorites have gotten it done. Here, Central Florida making their first appearance since 2019. Let's go to the chat here in this one, see if you have anything else here to add or your pick with UCLA taking on Central Florida here in Philadelphia. The Knights were 20-11 this season. UCLA was 23-11. You got for UCLA, they did have some injuries coming in. Donovan Dent, one of their best players, certainly is expected to return. Tyler Bilodeau, he's also expected to be in there after some injuries to those two guys. So they're ready to go apparently. UCLA, of course, with those wins over Rutgers and Michigan State to advance to the semifinals where they lost to Purdue. Bilodeau, he's kind of that guy you want shooting the threes. Basically, shooting 50% here since I believe since the late season final. Both teams are top 50 nationally in three-point shooting. UCF is a kind of a middling defensive team, however, allowing 82 points per game since February 21st. All right, here we go with some picks from you guys in this one. Greg says he'll take UCLA to win it by 4. He says UCF beat Kansas in Kansas. Memorable game there for UCF. Robert's on the under. Robert's on UCF here. Greg says UCF has played the tougher schedule in his opinion this season. Let's see, Twisted here. Wants UCLA, big crypto UCLA. Greg said he wouldn't be surprised if UCF wins this one against the Bruins here. And yeah, man, it's tough to send the Bruins here all the way across the country. I'm taking the over in this one with UCLA and Central Florida. Give me the over with these two. Hey, the solution is here. He's got UCLA in this one. Hello to the solution today. All right, we're making good progress here. We're getting to the finish, I think, here. We got several more to go, though. Queens taking on Purdue. Purdue favored by 25.5, total 162.5. You know, Queens has been an interesting program. They were a power really in Division II. Then you have to wait out when you come to Division I. They racked up a couple of good seasons. It was almost at one point, there was one season where I think they were, one of those teams that, if the tournament didn't have that limitation where you can't go to the NCAA tournament the first 4 years of being in Division I, Queens would have been in the tournament one of those years, but didn't quite happen. I think, in fact, they didn't even let them play in the conference tournament championship or something like that. But they're here now. They've earned it. They got a good program, but they're still learning on the job, it feels like here. But I don't know. Against Purdue, we know Purdue kind of, I don't know. They don't really look to have the blowout potential, do they? This Queens College, they got an interesting program here. Like I said, Purdue did go 4-0 in the Big 12 tourney. That was huge, considering we do have a little bit of movement here right now on a late game. Steam to the over, Furman and Connecticut. I'm not seeing it that way, but Right now, the steam is coming in on the over in Furman and Connecticut. It was 136.5, but it's going up right now as we speak to. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew it. Okay, it is on the under here. Okay, I was like, really, Furman? Sorry about that, gang. The steam is on the under here. Clearly, this is the way it should be. It was 137. It's quickly down here to 135. Furman and Connecticut. We will preview the game here shortly, but it's that steam in right now. That might be my play because I think that's my play. In fact, I'll just tell you right now, that is my play. I'm not going to get the best of the line there. I'll be chasing that steam now, steam to the under, and the under is my play in that game, Furman and Connecticut. All right. Let me continue on, though, here with Purdue. They are a top 10 rebounding team in the country. They're 10-1 in their non-conference games. They went 9-0 against teams outside the top 100. Purdue has a top 10 effective field goal percentage team in the nation. They've gone 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 first-round games. Meanwhile, the Royals haven't played in 12 days. They finished third in the A-Sun, 13-5. Last 5 years, A-Sun teams 1-4 against the spread in their first round games. Queens went 4-8 in their non-conference games this year. They were 0-4, losing to teams losing to teams inside the top 100, just like this game. Their losses were by 20 points, 25 points, 38 points, and 28 points. So basically all right around this number or higher than this number here. Queens is in the NCAA for the first time, and this is because this is their 4th year. It's the first time really they're eligible to go to the tournament. They won the conference tournament. So, okay, let's see what you got here with Queens and Purdue. Purdue. I'll go to the chat here in this one, see what you guys have. Purdue was struggling at the end of the season. Remember, they went 6-13 in their last 13 games and dropped 4 of their last 6, like I said, but then found that momentum in the Big Ten tournament, won 4 games in 4 days and won it all. You got Braden Smith, just 2 assists away from breaking the all-time NCAA record here today. He'll get it in the first few minutes. He also leads Purdue in scoring with 14 points per game. Queens earned their bid, and they beat Jacksonville, and then in overtime they beat Central Arkansas. So most of their metrics are in the top high 200s to 300s nationally here. And in their 5 games against high major teams such as this, they allowed an average of 102.6 points. Oh, wow. Wow. All right, chat, I'm ready. Here we go. Queens and Purdue. Queens did also go over in 7 of their last 9. Purdue went over in 7 of their last 10. Here we go. Let's go to the chat. It's going to be Twisted. Queens and the points. He thinks they could possibly win this game. Greg has it 93-70. Robert's on the over here in this one. You gotta think it's going over, don't you? I'm going with the over. Come on. The steam actually came in on the under, believe it or not. It was as high as 163. But like I said, the Queens gives up. When we talk about those high major, we're just talking about their games. Let me read them off to you. I think I got them queued up here, actually. Okay, so here are the games where they played, basically power conference teams, and maybe some other ones too. Listen to these are some of the games that they lost and the points they gave up. They allowed 94 to Villanova. They allowed 87 to Duquesne in overtime. They allowed 94 to Greensboro. They won that game. They allowed 90 to Furman, 94 to Virginia. They allowed 111 to Wake Forest, 108 to Arkansas, 106 to Auburn. They allowed 89 to Eastern Kentucky in a win. They allowed 90 to Central Arkansas in a regular season. They allowed 100 to Central Arkansas in a regular season loss. They allowed 87 to P Even in the conference tournament, they allowed 83 to P, and of course they allowed 93 to Central Arkansas, although that was an overtime game, but still, those are some big numbers. Give me the over here with Queens and Purdue. Okay, stop Geo, hello. And Twisted said Queen's going to represent there, Charlotte. And they'll sneak in the back door here, says Greg. They give up the points, but they can score. They're great. That's what they've been. That's what made them a great program before. They were, a great 3-point shooting team. They were one of those teams that shot a lot of 3-pointers before going to Division One. Next up, Prairie View A&M taking on Florida. Hey, if covering the spread is your thing, then you got to love Prairie View A&M right now. Now, granted, we're playing the Florida Gators here, so maybe it all comes to an end here, but I believe they're one of the hottest spread teams, if not the hottest spread team in the country coming into this game with, 11 straight covers, is it, or 10 or 12 or something like that. They've been on fire here. They've won 8 straight games. Interestingly, they've also gone 6-0 against the spread when taking on the Southeastern Conference. They're probably getting a ton of points in those games too. Prairie View's gone under in 8 straight games coming in. Florida's gone under in 10 of their last 15. Florida's 14-5 against the spread in their last 19 games overall coming in. The Gators have won 12 of 13. They went 16-2 in league play. They won the league by 3 games. So they did beat 6 teams outside the top 100 this year. All of those wins came by 22 or more points. Florida shoots 58% from inside the arc. That's top 25. They're also a top 5 rebounding team in the country. They're the defending champs, of course, coming in. They remember lost in the first round the year before last year before winning the national championship. Panthers, they got hot at the right time here. They're another imposter here to a certain extent. They won the conference tournament by winning 4 games in 5 days, beating Cookman, beating Alabama A&M, beating Southern, and beating Lehigh. So, or was it 5 games? I think, was it 5 games? I don't remember. But they finished 8th in league play. We do have some steam coming in here real quick right now on the game between Missouri and Miami, Florida. Full disclosure, I'm going to be fading this move. The steam's coming in on the under right now with Missouri and Miami, Florida. I think the stats might even shake out as an under here if you look at the trends a little bit. I'm going over in that game, but just want to mention it right now because the steam's coming in. It was 147. It's going lower here. Missouri and Miami is down to 145 here at Circa in Las Vegas, a 2-point move to the under there in that one with Missouri and Miami, Florida. All right, so Prairie View did play 5 teams in the top 100. They lost by 43, 27, 18, 14, and 29 points. They are a top 45 team in forcing turnovers this season. They went 3-1 in their non-conference, or 3-8. In their non-conference games. They're returning to the tournament for the first time since 2019. For Florida here, like I said, 35 points. It's one of the hottest covering teams right now in the country in Prairie View A&M. I mean, it is a SWAC and SEC mismatch for sure, but put your handicapping glasses on and got to try to figure this one out. Here we go in the chat. Prairie View for Twisted, just too many points. And, Florida's mad about that Vandy game, and he thinks it'll be 95-58, says Greg here. He's got it as a blowout. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of question whether or not that Florida will continue to put on all that pressure here right now, but I'm going with the under in this one. I'll wimp out. Give me the under here with Prairie View and Florida. Next up, we're going to keep it moving here. Let's go to San Diego, where it's Cal Baptist taking on Kansas. Now, look, there are Kansas fans everywhere. They'll probably have a good representation here, but Cal Baptist is just 90 minutes away. It's kind of a commuter school, though, in a way, but still, they've got plenty of students and probably make the trek down there. I wouldn't be surprised if Cal Baptist has quite a home crowd advantage in this game in San Diego. They come in here, obviously playing pretty well after their performance there in the Western Athletic Conference. They've won 15 of their last 17 coming into this game. They went 13-5 in conference play. They're good, pretty good forcing turnovers. Cal Baptist went 10-3 in their non-conference games. They were just 2-4 straight up versus teams in the top 100. In the last 3+ years, it basically is the last 3 years in the Friday games in the first round, but number 13 seeds are 4-9 against the spread. The 13 seeds are. They don't do a good job actually in this role. This is their first trip, Cal Baptist, into the NCAA tournament. This is their 8th year in Division I. For Kansas here, they've gone just 4-5 straight up in their last 9 games. Kansas went 12-6 in Big 12 play. They went 10-3 in non-conference games. All 3 of their losses, though, were to top 30 teams. Jayhawks are number 4 in effective field goal percentage defense in the country. They also were 8-0 straight up against teams outside the top 100. They don't run much of a bench at all. They were in the basically the bottom 300 there in bench minutes. They run their rotations out there. You know, it seems like with Peterson in there, it feels like a addition by subtraction or vice versa, subtraction by addition. He's a great individual player, but I don't know if he really is a team player out there half the time, and feels like they don't always get it done because of, you know, Peterson. Yeah, he's a little flaky there getting in and out of the lineup. He's obviously in there now, but I don't know here. Cal Baptist feels a little bit live to me. Let's see what you guys think in the chat. I kind of want to roll with Cal Baptist in this one. Got a pretty good team. Kansas feels vulnerable here maybe to me. Let's go to the chat and see what you guys have, though. Kansas has been able to take care of business here a little bit right now. Cal Baptist, though, they've won and covered 6 straight coming in. They've lost 6 straight to Big 12 teams. Kansas here has won 9 straight against Western Athletic Conference teams. Kansas has gone under in 12 of their last 17, but man, they've gone 14-7 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, for Cal Baptist, they went 19-14 against the spread this year. So, look, Peterson here, they say he was always cramping. I mean, you could be on a bad diet here, but he's played his full minutes in his last 7 games. We're kind of have to stop picking on him there a little bit. Cal Baptist, winners of 15 of 17. They beat Utah Valley in the championship 63-61 with that game-winning 3-pointer by the man, Dominic Daniels, one of the best offensive players in the country. He enters the tournament averaging 23.1 points per game. So, you know, Kansas has to come 1,500 miles while Cal Baptist can just drive on down the road here a little bit, take a bus to the game. Daniels leads Cal Baptist, as I said, but Kansas's inconsistency has me on Cal Baptist here. They lost 3 of their last 5. Did the Jayhawks and got blown out by Houston. Okay, here we go with some comments from the chat. 9 Legacy says UCLA on the spread, Purdue on the spread, A&M on the spread, Cal Baptist on the spread, Iowa on the spread. Robert wants Cal Baptist here. Greg says 12-point win there for Kansas, and Robert's on the under. Twisted says Cal Baptist here. They could upset and win outright. Back doors open, says Greg. JP Barley's on Cal Baptist. Feels like we're on Cal Baptist here. I am too. All right, Furman is taking on Connecticut here. And look, maybe the NCAA loves Hurley. I don't know, but still you got a 20.5-point number here. The total 137. Is that right, or is it lower here right now? Yeah, it's 135. Well, that's right. We had the steam come in here a little while ago, remember? I forgot. So, yeah, that Steam came in on the under here in this game. What did I say about it? Did I say I was already on it? Yeah. So I'm on the under here. I'll still do a little preview, of course, with you guys. But that Steam came in. I've already missed 2 points on it here. Waited too long here right now to get on this under. But I think I like it under. Look, I think I'm going to give Furman a big chance here. Where's my graphic? Did we get it? Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see though what we got here with this matchup anyway, with Furman coming in here.
Steam play.
Oh, let me get one Steam move out there right now, going maybe against me here. Wright State and Virginia. Steam to the over in this one with Wright State and Virginia. Talked about how I saw it, but man, it was 145.5. It's going up right now, right here, right now. To 147. Steam to the over here. Wright State and Virginia. All right. AB, I'll take those. Hey, I'm losing points on this game. I'll take them on this one. All right. All right, here comes UConn. They've won 2 of the last 3 national titles, obviously, and they lost last year to the eventual national champion Gators. Huskies are 7-4 in their last 11. They started 22-1. They went 17-3, finished second in the Big East, right? Huskies did go 9-1 in non-conference games. UConn, a top 10 field goal efficiency defense in the country. Huskies went 7-0 against teams ranked outside the top 100. The last 3 years, number 2 seeds are 8-4 against the spread in first-round games for Furman. They've won 4 of 5, went 10-8 in the SoCon, so they were a little bit of an imposter here as well. They needed to win their conference tournament. They haven't played here in 11 days after winning those 3 games in a row over Samford, Northern Greensboro, and East Tennessee to win the conference tournament here. So there is a little bit of that, but I'm not sweating it as much here right now. I like maybe Furman to hang in here or at least keep this game low. Like I said, the Steam came in under, and I think I can see why. Furman here, 6-4 against non-conference teams this year. They went 0-3 versus top 100s, but they lost by 26, 16, and 7. Last 7 years, SoCon teams are 5-2 ATS in the first round. Furman, though, this is their second trip to the NCAA tournament in the last 30 years. However, 3 years ago, we talked about Virginia and their loss to Maryland, Baltimore County when they were a 16-1. Well, how about this? 3 years ago, Furman played Virginia and beat them 68-67 in a 13-4 game. So I'm thinking Furman here maybe, but I'm going to take the under as my official play here in this one. I'm going to take the under with the Paladins here and the Huskies. But let's go to the chat and see what you guys think in this one between Furman and UConn. Spread 20.5, total 134.5. Furman 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. Overall coming in, they have Alex Wilkins. He leads the team, 17.5 points a game for UConn. Jalen Stewart, I don't think he's going to make this lineup here. Let me click on the injury report here for Stewart. He's questionable here. Also, Silas Demery, he's questionable as well. But I thought Coach said he was in pretty good shape coming in. So I think Stewart is probably a game-time decision. But Demery, I think, is going to make it. Steam coming in right now, and it's on a game here that I also went over on just a short time ago. Hofstra and Alabama. Steam coming in on the over in this one. Right now it was 158 here, but we're seeing it go higher here now. 160.5 at circa. Steam to the over. Hofstra and Alabama right now as we speak. All right, so hey, these teams have played twice in non-conference play over the years. UConn won them both. UConn they lost a few there in the Big East tournament or before the Big East tournament, where they won a couple and then lost obviously to St. John's 72-52. Got blown out. Connecticut just 11-18 against the spread as a favorite. Let's go to the chat here. All right, and we've got here Furman for Twisted. Again, too many points. Robert's on the under. Greg says this is a woodshed time for Furman. Bye-bye, Furman. Oh, but look, I think he's got Furman to cover here, though, actually. And JPR on the under. Greg says UConn wasn't covering spreads too often. So, okay, I'll take the under, though, as my play, but I don't mind 20 points here, I think, with the Paladins. Keep it going, man. How we doing on time? We okay here? This is the last game. We'll cover those other games briefly in the NBA and NHL. We'll kind of just smooth over them again like we did yesterday. Furman here. Missouri here. See, I'm losing it. Missouri here taking on Miami of Florida. We already mentioned the move there in that game, right? The steam came in on the under, and I wasn't buying it. In fact, my play is already in. I'm on the over in this one. I know the steam came in a short time ago. We talked about it here on the morning steam. Went down to 145. Missouri's lost 3 straight games coming into this one for Missouri here. They allowed 82 points per game on average in those 3 losses. They finished 10-8 in the SEC. They went 10-3 in non-conference games. Missouri is a top 35 effective field goal percentage offense in the nation. They did go 7-9 versus teams in the top 50 like this, straight up. This is, after all, a 7-10 matchup. Missouri's a top 40 team on the offensive glass. Since 2011, Missouri is 1-6 in first-round games straight up. Miami, they're in the tournament for the first time in 3 years, only the second time since 2018. Hurricanes are 8-11 straight up in their last 11. They finished third in the ACC with a 13-5 record. Miami went 11-2 straight up in their non-conference games. They're a top 30 shooting team from inside the arc. They did go 7-7 versus teams in the top 60. They're also a top 10 rebounding team in the country. Missouri is 1-5 against the spread their last 6 games against ACC competition. Miami comes in having covered 5 of their last 7 games overall. They've gone under in 6 of their last 7 games against the SEC. Let's see how you have this one. Miami and Missouri, the last game we made it through 32 games over the last 2 days. Good job, you guys. It'll only get easier from here. We'll have 8 tomorrow. Missouri here does come in right now with a 14-8 spread record this season, but Miami here 8-10 against the spread as a favorite. This one's being played in St. Louis, so Miami couldn't have been too happy about that. It's practically a home game for Missouri at the Enterprise Center. And Missouri, like I said, riding a little 3-game losing streak, though. Miami, you figure, look what Miami really did here, right, over the last year under Coach Jai Lucas. They had 7 wins last year and finished third in the ACC this season. So big turnaround. Malik Renault averages 18.8 points per game, and Mark Mitchell averages 18.3 points per game for Missouri. I think Missouri has the size advantage here at most of the spots. I mean, they have a 7-foot center as well. Miami's not an outside shooting team. They attempt and make fewer 3-pointers than any team in the ACC this year. They rely on their interior play here in this one. So I've got the over here with Missouri and Miami, despite that move to the under. Look, maybe it doesn't look great for Miami here as far as the home venue. I hope they can overcome it, though. Not a home venue, but like I said, the game is basically in, it's in St. Louis. It's in Missouri. Here we go with your picks in the last game, you guys. Twisted's on the over here, and I got to update the line there too, right? It's 145. This one opened as high as 149 here. Yeah, I'm not about this move. Good value for me, I think. Let's see here. Greg says 76-73 Miami. JP Farley, Miami money line. Greg loves the way Miami plays right now. Robert's on Miami. And hello to Steve in the chat. That's it for the college baskets. You guys enjoy the tournament. We're just about an hour away from the first game. Also, 10-minute warning here. College of Charleston and Duke. Duke's favored by 33, total 133 right now in that game, and that one's about to tip here in the women's tournament. First round games getting underway today. I'll have a package over at winnable.com, so check me out over there if you want some picks here with the tournament today. But it'll be Duke and College of Charleston coming up first. 33. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. This one's pretty close for me. I'd probably take Charleston. I'd probably go under if you really want to play the first game. The total's moved up from 131.5 to 133. The spread moved up from 31.5 to 33. That game, that's a little tough. The next game, UC San Diego and TCU down there. TCU favored by 34. I might be a little biased. I'd probably take UC San Diego in that game here. The total, though, 131. I don't know if I could do anything with that, but I'd take 34 points with UCSD. TCU's got a great team. I know that. So that'll cover the first two games, and maybe I'll get a package together in time. All right, let's go to the NBA here real quick and take a look at the action here. Oh, here we go with Line Legacy said he's got UConn on the spread. No, he's reading it in there, probably UConn. The Great North. UConn Huskies there and on the spread, Missouri money line. Thank you, Nine Legacy. Let's go to the NBA here real quick. I'll try to go pretty fast here. I always end up reading a bunch of trends, but we're actually not covering all the games in hockey. So let's see what we got here in the NBA. Warriors and Pistons here in this one. No Cade Cunningham still, right? So we know right now the Pistons going to be a little bit shorthanded. They're favored by just 5.5 here against the Warriors. Look, they still got a pretty good team. The Warriors are having all kinds of issues here down the stretch, but maybe without the star player, maybe that does help a little bit for Golden State here. I don't know if it does. I think the line's actually moved down here to 5 right now, pretty much everywhere, and the total 217.5. Sorry about that game. Warriors definitely have struggled here. Pistons already won a game without Cunningham there last night over Washington, 117-95. We laid the 14 there. Remember, they didn't cover the first game against Washington there on the road as they played 2 games in 3 nights. Golden State, meanwhile, got blasted at home on the road at Boston, 120-99, getting 11.5. Golden State still just 11-14 against the spread as an underdog. Detroit's not a good spread team as a favorite, 25-33 overall, but also just 3-7 against the spread. In their last 10 games overall, Detroit is just a game above 500 against the spread coming into this one overall this season. For Detroit here, they've gone 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games at home right now. Golden State's gone over in 5 of their last 6, but they've gone just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6. Detroit has gone over in 5 of their last 6. They're 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 games overall. Golden State is 20-15 against the spread on the road. Meanwhile, for Detroit, 25-31 against the spread as to the under as a favorite. I hope I said that right. See, I go too fast here because a little bit anticlimactic to cover some NBA. I got to tell you the truth here. We got the great tournament going on. Let me see what you guys think, though, in this one. We'll go fast here. Golden State and Detroit, Golden State. By the way, like I said, talked about it quite a bit. They're going to be in. They're going to make the play-in tournament. No way they're going to fall out of 10th place. They might finish in 10th place, but they're half a game behind 9th place Trailblazers here. For the Pistons, they are holding on here, 4 games ahead in the standings here currently, ahead of second place Boston. So can they hang on without Cunningham? Can they get Cunningham back in time for the playoffs? A collapsed lung. Now, I haven't followed up. If anybody has, maybe let me know. But I haven't followed up necessarily what his timetable is. I know a collapsed lung could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, and you still have to work back your breathing and stuff. Is there a doctor in the house? Warriors money line here. AOD is here, ready for Pistons basketball. Detroit under for Steve. 9 Legacy says Pistons against the spread is his play here today. Cash Kane's here. He says he took the Wizards yesterday, and he thinks the Wizards. He thinks I think he means that the Warriors are better than the Wizards there. I know that's what he means. JP Farley's on the Pistons here. And let's see here also. Pistons on a back-to-back, obviously, after that win there yesterday, 117-95. Golden State had a day off since that loss. They also beat Washington. I think that's what Cash King, too, was saying. Because the Warriors just beat Washington 125-117 on the road, too. So these two teams kind of just played Washington on the road. Detroit won 117-95 and 130-117, while the Warriors won just 125-117. Robert does like the Warriors here in this one. All right. Hey, I got to make my call here in this one. And I think I'm going to take the under here with these two. Give me the under. The teams kind of go over here right now, but I'm taking the under today. Give me the under with Golden State and Detroit. Like I said, Detroit here 25-31 to the under as a favorite. So Golden State, although they do play, mostly to the over, this is what kind of got, has me going under is that Golden State's 42-27 to the over this season, but just 12-13 to the under as an underdog. All right, next up, the Knicks are taking on the Nets. Here in this one, and Knicks are going to be favored by 18 here. We're in the Tankathon, so I think this is a Tankathon game I'm probably interested in. It might be even down to 17 flat here at some of the sharp books. Totals dropped to 0.2 to 214.5. And see what you got, though, here with these two. I'm just going to take the Knicks here. I won't go too much into it. I think we know what's going on here pretty much with this one today, and one-sided game for sure. It's just a matter of how much motivation can the Knicks have to blow these guys out of the water here if they so choose. They have covered 4 of the last 5 versus Brooklyn. They've won 10 straight against them overall. New York, though, just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, despite winning 4 of their last 5. They've been favored by a few too many points, but Brooklyn still 5-12 against the spread in their last 17 games. They're on a 5-game losing streak, and they pretty much have lost all the games here. Feels like forever for the Knicks here. They are currently in 3rd place. They still could catch Boston, 2 games clear of Cleveland right now. So give B the Knicks in this one in the Tankathon. JP likes the under here. Next up, the Hawks are at the Rockets in a nice one here, right? With the Hawks on the road. Man, the Hawks winners of 11, 12. How many in a row is it right now? I always got to look it up when they get to so many games. Man, what a roll the Hawks are on here with 11 straight wins here currently. Man. Well, they are an underdog here, obviously. So, look, Houston isn't playing great. I think that's fair to say here of late. Just 2-4 straight up, 1-5 against the spread. Consecutive losses here for Houston. 2, the Lakers on those back. But hey, they've been playing the Lakers. I mean, come on. For Atlanta here, all these wins in a row. They've also covered 3 straight against Milwaukee, Orlando, and Dallas coming in. Atlanta, 20-14 against the spread on the road. Houston, 12-21 against the spread at home. Really? You're going to take Houston here? Maybe the spread's gotten low enough that you want to consider Houston here in this one. I'll just take the under, I think, for me. Houston's gone under in 4 of their last 5. 4 of the last 5 in the series have gone under. Houston, 11-22 to the under at home this season. Give me the under in this one. JP Farley's on the under. Cash Kane is on the Hawks. And Robert here is on the under. And Cash Kane says something not right here with Houston right now. They don't seem to be playing at the same pace they were, the same clip, the same winning clip that they were there for quite a while. So for Houston, not really a lot of injuries here. I mean, we know Adams has been out for a while, and Kuminga here is out for Atlanta, back to being injured. So I got all excited about Kuminga, and he can't stay healthy. That's the problem with Kuminga. Houston here, like I said, just 1-5 in their last 6. Hawks 4, JP Farley. We're going quickly here right now. Trailblazers and Timberwolves in this one. And I'm going to take the under here in this one with Portland and Minnesota tonight. For Portland here, they come into this one having gone 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games overall, despite a pair of wins here of late, back-to-back wins over Brooklyn and Indiana. Easy opponents, but they have just gone 1-4 against the spread in their last 4, 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games against Utah, Philly, Brooklyn, and Indy, covering only when they beat Brooklyn. Minnesota, though, just 7-13 against the spread in their last 20 coming into this one. Minnesota's gone under in 8 of their last 11. 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but I want to go under here. Minnesota's 12-24 to the under at home, and Portland is 16-23 to the under as an underdog. So give me the under here in this one with Portland and Minnesota as my play. Let's go to the chat here real quick. If anybody wants to comment, there's Wolves on the money line for JP Farley. Celtics and Grizzlies are next. You got a big spread here, of course. Celtics by 15. We're kind of in the tankathon here a little bit. Celtics 3 in a row all of a sudden. Feels like when they want to rack up some wins here against some bad teams, they might not overlook teams actually. They know this is a chance to make a dent now. They could conceivably catch Detroit if Detroit's missing their star. Now, they are 4 games back with 13 to play, so they'll need some cooperation, that's for sure. They've already clinched at least a playoff berth here, a play-in berth, I guess. With 13 games to go, we're still not all the way into clinching yet, but for the Celtics here in this one, they come in having covered here, net 1 and covered here right now. 15 of their last 20 wins and 11-5 against the spread in their last 16. They're also 14-6 against the spread last 20 against Memphis. Memphis has dropped 8 of 9 and also gone just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6, losing 5 of their last 6 at home. 18 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone over here. Memphis just won finally to snap a losing streak as they upset Denver the other night, 125-118. If you've been parlaying the Tankathon teams, you had basically won 6 straight days until that one when Minnesota. I'm talking about Moneyline here right now. Again, I said that several days ago, that the Moneyline parlay on those, and after we mentioned it, it hit three straight days when you take the playoff teams over the Tankathon teams. But Denver finally cost it there as Memphis was able to win at home over Denver. All right, so we're in the Tankathon here. Give me the Boston Celtics on the road. And this one, I'll go ahead and lay it at this time. And let's see here. Robert did take Portland. Farley's on the Celtics. Here's an under for Robert. And Steve says Memphis will get the back door. And Nine Legacy says Knicks on the spread. One more here in the NBA with the Raptors taking on the Nuggets. You have the Nuggets here favored by 7 now, 238 here in this one. Maybe, 238 feels like the number here with these two for the Nuggets. here for the Nuggets here in this one. And maybe they'll draft the guy from Alabama. Nuggets here 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. They've gone under in 10 of the last 13 meetings against the Toronto Raptors. Raptors come in with a 3-game winning streak. All of a sudden, they're playing well again. Beat Phoenix, Detroit, and Chicago. Nice run. All covers for Toronto. They're 16-12 against the spread as an underdog. Denver, 22-24 against the spread as a favorite. You know, they're 17-7 against the spread as a dog. But as a favorite, they're not as good in that role, actually, here. And you're going up against the Toronto team doing a good job here covering some spreads against this team. They've covered 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams, including the first meeting in Toronto. Denver was laying 7 in there. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh, Toronto was favored in that first meeting. It was on New Year's Eve. No Jokic. Okay, well, it was 106-103. Denver still won as a 7-point dog in that game. Well, throw that out. But 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over in Toronto, because in Denver, because that one didn't go over, that's for sure. So basically 5 straight years here have gone over. And this one, I don't think it's going over. This one's gone up way too high. 238 now. This thing opened as low as 232. Okay, maybe I get the move here, but I've got to go under. This is getting out of control. I'm going under on principle, I think, here in this one. Look, you can't argue Denver and their incredible offense here. I mean, number 1 scoring offense in the league. We know that. Number 1 3-point shooting team in the league, but I got to go under 238. I just got to go under. I'm going under. Okay, Raptors here for JP Farley. Raptors on the spread there for Dine Legacy Hiller to Noli today. He's got the Santa Clara and Kentucky game to go under, and he throws in a baseball game for us there as well. But let me see the Santa Clara Kentucky game. Look, Noli's on the under here. The Steam came in on the under. You've got to think this one's going to be an under anyways here, but Noli on the under here with Santa Clara. Thank you, Noli. Nuggets money line for Cash Kane. That's going to do it for that one. Let's go to hockey right now. They're just 3 games, and then we're going to do these quickly here. We'll get back to the previews. We'll get to the playoffs soon enough. I know you love my hockey breakdowns here, but let's start it off here with Hurricanes. They're a 220 favorite after all. I'm just trying to pick the games where the teams are at least got one going to the playoffs here. Carolina minus 220. I mean, you got to think Carolina could take care of business in this one, probably on the puck line, I would imagine. Maybe I'll just move to the total here, but I would think Carolina, Bussy probably in there today in this one. Man, this is going to be a lot of – I'm going to take Carolina. I need a premium in hockey, and this is going to be the total, if you know what I mean, here. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm taking the Hurricanes to win on the puck line here at minus 1.5 at minus $1.15, I think, here right now. Let me make sure of that. Minus 1.5 at. All right, I might not have the correct line here at this point. Minus 1.5. Is it plus 105? Yeah. Okay, minus 1.5 plus 110. Okay, no wonder. I thought I was looking at the wrong thing there. I figured it'd be minus $1.10 or 15. Okay, great. I'm taking the Hurricanes here on the puck line. Thank you, Johnny. Perfect. Oh, that does it for me there. I thought I was looking at the wrong line there. Cash Kane is on the under. Hurricanes puck line here. Farley's on the under. I'm not feeling it, Farley, in this one. I know the Sharps are kind of preferring the under here, maybe by about a 2-to-1 ratio, it says over here, but I think Carolina, watch out, Carolina's offense here today. Look, Carolina 34-28 to the over as a favorite. Toronto 21-15 to the over at home. Here's Nine Legacy, puck line and over. King says it'll be 4-1 though. That's an under, obviously. All right, next up, I'm going to move to games involving playoff teams. So we're going to skip the Devils and the Capitals. I don't think the Capitals are going to make it. Avalanche and Blackhawks here. In this one, you've got the Blackhawks here. Look at this. I mean, look, Colorado's lost 3 in a row coming into this one. They've actually stumbled here of late. Losses to Winnipeg, Pittsburgh, and Dallas. A tough schedule. Chicago's coming off a win over Minnesota. They also played Minnesota tough in the game before that, losing in overtime. Now, they did lose to BGK, but remember, they swept Utah. I've got Chicago playing pretty well here right now, and I'm willing to take the puck line at this price at minus 260 right now. Is it still oh my God, it's up to 290. Oh my God, it's up to 290. And I'll take Chicago here for sure on the puck line. In fact, it's plus 105 or better. Give me Chicago on the puck line here. Look, Colorado's great. It's just that they've been stumbling here a little bit. It's definitely not the same Colorado team as the beginning of the season, even if you want to say they're cruising here, right, to the playoffs. But I think you've got to do a little better if you're Colorado right now in comparison to how they played in the first of the season. Look, they can get there from here, no problem. They're currently in first place ahead of Dallas by 2 games there right now, best record in the league. But, yeah, they've slipped a little bit, I'd say. I mean, not much, but okay, a few comments maybe here. Avs money line, Robert's on the over, Farley's on Chicago with me. One more tonight. We've skipped the Panthers and the Flames because I don't think those guys are going to the playoffs. Last game here, Ducks and Mammoth in this one. You got the Ducks on the road here at a little bit of an underdog here. Mammoth minus, I think they're up to $1.30 here. 6.5 over 15. Mammoth have won 2 straight. They were cold, now they're hot. They won 2 straight on the road against Dallas and Vegas. Come back at home. This is where they struggle. I don't know, though. They're favored over the Ducks here. Good matchup. Kind of want to look at the Ducks maybe here in the game. Let's see what's going on. You got a Anaheim team. They've lost 4 out of their last 6. They've actually lost 9 of the last 13 games against this franchise on the road here over last. I've played in Arizona a couple times. Utah 1-4 straight up in their last 5 at home. Just 2-4 straight up in their last 6. Utah's gone under in 7 of their last 10. Anaheim's gone under in 7 of their last 10 as well. Although Anaheim 20-14 to the over on the road and 18-14 to the over at home for Utah. Although Anaheim at home is 20 and no, they're also 20-14 at home. How about that? Let's see what you got, though, here in this one with Ducks and Mammoth. All right. Man, I want to take the Ducks in this one. Give me the Ducks here. I'm going to take the Ducks on the road to get a win here over Utah. All right, that's going to do it for the morning steam. Thank you, everybody. Let's see. We got some plays here. We got Cash Kane on the Ducks, Robert on the over, flat spot for Utah for those 2 wins. And here's Farley on the under and our Tomps. Kind of feeling it there with our Tomps on the over. I think I agree, but I might save it here for a premium. Look at the line here. All right, that's going to do it for the morning steam. Don't forget, check me out over at winnable.com. Please subscribe over at Winnable if you want to get more plays from me. I'm going to have my women's college basketball specially made for our Tomps today. Probably got 4, 5, 6 games here. I'll have to see what shakes out here. Gave you 2 games there just a little bit. Hope I get it right. And more picks coming out on the women's side as well. Probably more on the premiums on the women's side than the men. You'd already got all my men's plays pretty much right here. So check me out over at winnable.com. Use the promo code STEAM. Don't forget to check me out on another show on the YouTube called Cover the Spread. I have some predictions there on today's college basketball games, so please check that out. Don't forget to watch us here this weekend. Don't forget BB MMA picks loaded up right now underneath the live tab. Let's hear from Mikey. Whoops, naked. Let's hear from Mikey Money here on Winnable. And I got some steam when we come back.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, that Steam that just came in is in the NBA. It's on a game that I took already here on the show, and that was the under in the game between Atlanta and Houston. The Steam just came in on the under. It was 228, but it's getting hit here right now. It's down to 226.5. Steam to the under here with Atlanta and Houston right now. Okay, let's do the drawing here. And hey, if you win the drawing, you get 1 free month of plays from me over at winnable.com. Make sure you cancel if you don't like the plays after 1 month. It'll charge you here. That's how we do it. But hey, here we go with the drawing. Let's see who wins. We got Nuke. We've got Andrew. We've got Blue. We got Twisted Blue Notes. They're blue sheet. R. Tom, say OD. The winner is Jimmy Lambo. Jimmy wins. So you can get a free month of picks over winnable.com by using the promo code WINNER. That's going to do it here for the morning steam. Make sure you join Mikey Money today, this afternoon for pre-gaming. Get you ready for the primetime action. And we'll be back here tomorrow with more morning steam for Saturday. Get ready. Remember, UFC starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. So you'll have me, you'll have the basketball show, and then you'll have the MMA show. Let's hope we can all make it to the finish here from London. That's going to do it. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the win.